Hello, welcome back to the Fan View Live. Yet another video. Thank you to all for being patient, for waiting. Yeah, we just won 1-0 against Newcastle in a war of attrition. It wasn't a beautiful game always, but it was a successful game. City, of course, the treble winners, looking for the 4th Premier League title in a row. Say that out loud to yourself a few times. It does feel good. 4 Premier League titles in a row potentially, and we could do it, man. We could do it. Now, of course, this is the Fan View Live where you guys can have a chat if you want to. I only kind of keep it over to Patreons and members, and if you are a Patreon member, you know where to find the link. It's always the same link, so if you join once, just bookmark it and save it. I keep it open. It's a StreamYard link. I can chat to you guys. It's nice to get your views on it, of course. I don't want to leave it open randomly because it'd just be chaos, and someone will probably just whip some out that shouldn't be out, shouldn't be shown on camera very quickly, and I can't be arsed with that. But I've always thought it'd be fun at Chat City Fans. So fingers crossed, if you want to, click the link there, become a member or not, find out on Patreon, and you can have a chat to me after that game. I do want to hear what you think about it. Of course, as well, if you're not interested, you can just sit and get a cup of tea or brew, coffee, beer, rum and coke, which I've been drinking, whatever, some biscuits, just chill out, chat all, and listen to us chat all things Manchester City Football Club, because obviously it was a wonderful night. I like nights like that. I just do, you know. Obviously you can watch my full match reaction if you want to, which is up on the channel right now. But like nights like that, to me, they're just satisfying. I can't really put it any better than that. They are. I love a battle. I love a battle against a very good team, especially when the odds. I'm not saying the odds are against us. We're still Manchester City. I'm not stupid. We were still favourites to win the game, rightfully so. But we are like there was circumstances that could have made us hard to beat. You know, like could have made it hard tonight. Made it hard tonight. You know. Either way, I will jump over to the first person, but I'm going to bring Kevin in a second. But Kevin, mate, I've got to do the thing where I edit the stream, get you on. So even though you're on, you're not on. So just bear with me, my friend, and I'll count you in, but I need to line you up on the video first. But of course, when you come on, if you want to come on tonight, let me know what you want to talk about, what you thought of the game, all the usual stuff, because it was a night. A brilliant football, you know. I'm going to bring Kevin in right now. There might be an editing problem here or two, but I'll bring him over. Kevin, how you doing, my friend? You good? I can't hear you, mate. I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, my bad. It was
There you go.
muted. How are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Yourself?
Great. Good game. Overall, a solid win, solid 3 points. Especially considering, the traveling, the tight schedule, lack of fitness, all of that.
Yeah.
It's just the team is a Champions League team as well. Newcastle, they're really good. Top four. Um, yeah, just overall, solid 3 points, and we take that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, to me, this felt important tonight. Like, I think if there was any questions about City's hunger for another Premier League title, I think it's fair to say they were answered tonight, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can see how hard the players worked. Julian was running all over. You see Walker just up and down the whole flank for 90 minutes. Rodri, I mean, give that man some rest.
Never. He'll be playing until he's 87 years old and 140 games a year or whatever. I don't know. But I think he says he wants it to rest, but I'm not sure he does, you know, deep down. I think he just loves it. I think he lives for it, you know, the battles.
Yeah, but I mean, it does affect him in game. You can see
Yeah.
like the last 10, 15 minutes, he just started misplacing passes. He couldn't run, he couldn't get up the pitch. So all of that, yeah, one of the misplaced passes, Guardiola did really well, like that 1v1 tackle, the last man against Wilson. Amazing.
Yeah.
Just really great defender, I guess.
Yeah, I just actually saw a tweet earlier before I went live. Someone saying City are the most defensive team in world football, and when you think about it, they might actually be the most defensive team in world football. Well, obviously, the centre backs and the double pivot with Rodri and Kovacic there, because it did feel like a double pivot this time. It very much those two. Obviously, you know, Kovacic still got forward, but it was very much free Foden, wasn't it? It felt that way. It felt very much like let Alvarez, Foden buzz around, you know, Haaland. But with those two, so you had those two there, you know, two experienced, brilliant players ahead of a back line full of centre backs, and you know, it just felt so solid defensively, and like, that's not going to change, is it? I feel like a big part of what's going to make City good this year is like that defense that we saw. Obviously, it helped us with trouble. Could be even better.
Right.
Is it fair to say that? Could it get even
Yeah,
better?
I mean, we saw last year, Champions League just one goal, or we didn't lose any games. So that the key part of that is defense. In the FA Cup, 6 games, only conceded one goal. We played Arsenal, we played United, we played Liverpool or Chelsea, one of those two. I forgot which one, and we played two of the top two championship teams. So those are all solid teams. Uh, didn't concede. We added
Yeah,
another defender. I guess Kovacic is really good at holding the ball and moving with the balls, like transitioning from defense to offense. All of that, I think it just helps us keep. Yeah, I think in like the first half we had like 75% possession against Newcastle. They're
yeah,
not like a mid-table team. They're like a proper Champions League team now.
wild.
So it's
I
just
I was
yeah,
surprised. I was actually surprised by how good we were in this game. Like not
yeah.
because we're not good enough to be good enough. It's just more because the time of the season, injuries, new players involved. Did it take? Were you expecting this level performance tonight?
I think it was closer than I thought it would be. I thought Newcastle would be better offensively, but they weren't. We saw them destroy Villa
Yeah,
last weekend. Um, but today they just could not because Ruben was solid, Gavardio was solid, Akanji again another solid performance. Walker was just bossing the game with their wingers, I guess. And then Rodri cleaning up any midfield. It's just utter domination.
Rodgers and Manzoni, so good man. What a guy. What a player. Foden though, of course, man of the match tonight. Foden.
I
Um,
had to put his shirt back on.
have
Yeah,
you got your photo? Well, there we go. That's why, mate.
yeah, yeah. I
God,
don't know if you can see it,
yeah,
but
good on the spin we saw it, but that's quite
okay.
that's quite convenient actually because that's all Newcastle saw tonight. Back of
Yeah.
Foden's shirt on the spin, like he was turned away from time and time again. I feel like this tonight was a really important game for Phil Foden because we needed him. We really needed him, didn't we, to step up with
Mhm.
all the injuries. Bernardo Silva, of course, Kevin De Bruyne are out for months, literally many months. Like just how good was Phil Foden tonight, and
I
and
mean,
has this
yeah.
sort of cemented his role now for the coming season?
At least for the next, 2 to 3 months, guaranteed. Hopefully he doesn't get injured either.
No,
We
don't say
saw
it's Kevin, mate.
so many tackles. The referee was terrible.
It was, wasn't
They fouled us so much, dude. They didn't protect us at all. Grealish
it?
like
I've lost
three or
Dave.
four
Put the
times.
headphones out. Sorry.
I was saying that Grealish was fouled like 3 or 4 times. He didn't give us. Ruben was stamped on like 2 or 3 times. Then Foden got tackled. It's just so
It
bad
should have been a red,
referee
shouldn't he?
today.
There's one in particular. The
Yeah,
first one on the gun, I thought, okay, I sort of get why because he didn't. He sort of just touched him. He didn't. Not every contact on the shin is going to be red card. I get that because it's all about force and so on. But there was who was it? That did the other one? Now there was definitely a red from someone. It should have been a red.
I
It was,
think Anthony Gordon on Ruben like
the
a
second one
couple
was it?
times. Yeah,
The first one
he
wasn't
is.
too bad, but there's one where it was just over the ball. I was like, no, it might even be Bruno actually. It might have been Bruno, but there's one where it was a bit too strong. I was like, that should be a red. That man, they were very physical, and you could tell they intended to be as well, didn't they? Like, but look, the thing is about Phil, going back to him, is that he just keeps going. He's like Spider Man. He always gets up, man. Like he just keeps getting up and going and going and going. And there was a bit where the camera cut to him as well when he was there, like getting his players going. He was telling people where
Yeah,
to be, and I'm like, show, shouting cover, like Kovacic. And like
yeah.
he's obviously he's only 23 years old now, but he's a senior player, isn't he? In this Manchester City side,
Mhm.
he's been there for a long time.
I mean, you just look at his record: five Premier Leagues, one Champions League, multiple FA Cups and Carabao Cups. It's just he's won everything already. He knows the game. He knows how to play against these tough opponents. So it's just another wonderful performance from him. Same with Alvarez. Alvarez started slow, but then he built onto the game, and what a goal! What a finish! It's
Yeah,
kind of like Aguero from tight angles. Little disappointed by Haaland. His first touch wasn't good. I don't know. The first one, when he was through and he couldn't control the ball and it just went out in the first half, early in the first half. That was he was like one on one with the goalkeeper.
yeah.
If he controlled that, that would have been a goal. It's just a couple of other chances like that. Just
I think you're right. Actually, I think the first one where he kind of bounced off his feet when Foden played him through. I think if he
yeah,
gets that under control, he probably scores. Then I think
yeah,
after that he probably gets a hat trick. It's weird, isn't it? He's weird that way, Haaland. Like it's one of those nights where the ball just goes a bit mad, or he just puts them every single shot in the back of the net. Like he doesn't seem to be. There's no middle ground, is he? He scores a load of
Hmm.
goals, I mean, thankfully he rarely has stinkers, but yeah, he has a few. But he has like maybe 1 in 10 games where it's just a bit like that, but then 9 in 10 he just scores anyway, you know. So it's like, I mean, we can take that. It doesn't really matter. And I
Yeah,
think obviously his presence is too important in general, isn't it? You know, like he's physical and powerful, and he's there, and he terrifies teams, doesn't he, as well?
yeah.
Alvarez as well, of course. You know, people have been a little bit critical. About his performances in this sort of quasi 10-8 role, you know. Another game tonight, the winning goal. I mean, he guarantees you that. But what have you made
Hmm.
about his general transition into this role and how it went tonight?
I think the goal was amazing, obviously. Immense finish and like really tight angle. But outside of that, towards the start, the first half, he wasn't really well with linking up with either Haaland or Foden. He couldn't do it. But he built onto the game. Second half, he was much better. He was, running around. We gotta remember
Yeah,
he was somewhat injured at the Super Cup. Pep said that,
yeah,
so he wasn't fully fit, I guess. So it's just building onto it. I think the more he plays, the better he will get. As is with most players. Same with I think Grealish. Didn't have a good game today, but hopefully soon, sometime in the next couple of games, he'll start to improve. He'll start to beat the right back, or
yeah.
maybe put in better crosses. I guess it's just takes time, I guess.
Yeah, of course, you're absolutely right, and he's learning that role. But the one thing he does have, of course, is he's just sort of special, isn't he? Like he's just like he has that special habit of just doing something magic, and like I think Pep loves. He knows we're so solid defensively, but I think he loves people who have that.
Hmm.
They're just like XG beaters, you know what I mean? Like people like Alvarez, they just seem to find a way to score from stupid angles, and it's sort of moments of like magic that can win you a game like that, you know. And I guess if Kevin De Bruyne is not there, I can understand the temptation to play Alvarez because De Bruyne is obviously De Bruyne is a better footballer than Alvarez. I'm not saying that, but De Bruyne is very similar in that way in terms of just a random moment of magic. Like he's a 20-yarder,
Yeah.
rocket of a shot from a stupid angle, or a pass. But Alvarez is similar in that way where he can do something that most people can't do, and I think Pep's drawn to that. Obviously, not there yet, but I mean, he's obviously a special footballer with his own attributes, and I enjoyed that. But anyway, Kevel, final thing, man. Transfer window. Do you think anything will get done before it
Um.
closes?
Hopefully, I would like to see Doku. I was a Belgium fan because of KDB, and I saw him play well there.
Yeah.
Really good dribbler, speed, good a good mindset, I guess. And maybe a midfielder. I think we really need either a midfielder or we need Calvin Phillips to turn into God at this point.
All right. Okay. Well, I don't think
Because
that's gonna happen.
so because I Rodri, man, he cannot play like
I
this
know.
many
I
games.
know.
Yes,
I
we
think
just need
we need a
yeah, something
midfielder,
from
don't we?
Calvin Phillips. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, the midfield. Obviously, you'd tell that Pep would play six. He'd play Kovacic as a six if he needed to rest. But then
Yeah.
Kovacic has already got. By the way, he's already got. I am going to play every single game under Pep energy. You know, like some players where you can just tell.
Hmm.
Pep loves him. He's gonna love him. You can just tell. He's just like pure refined. I feel like actually Pep would look at Kovacic and go, I would have liked to have been that player when I was younger. You know, like just a little bit more
Yeah.
like. And I reckon he's gonna play loads of games. So eventually we go full circle where if Kovacic replaces Rodri, who's the man who replaces Kovacic? Because you know, like,
Yeah, I mean, I think like Kovacic was really good, but towards the last 10, 15 minutes quickly, just maybe Calvin Phillips could have came in and
yeah, yeah.
told Rodri, you just stand there and I'll just run around and patch up the defense. But he hasn't got a single minute yet. Three games, Rodri
It's not good,
played
is it?
90 minutes in every game. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I
So,
mean, sometimes you got to call a spade, and it feels really obvious that.
and the games are longer too. Like they're
Yeah.
almost like
Well,
100 minutes at this point. Like so.
yeah, we'll call it 100 minutes. But it is 100 minutes. He's played about 300 minutes. You know, like
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
stupid, and that is like quick maths.
So,
That's like
yeah.
three and a third games. You know, something like that. It might be a bit off there, but it's a lot of football. You know, so
So
it's it's not good, is it?
Just a midfielder for covering Rodri, or either Calvin Phillips needs to step up.
Yeah.
That's my transfer window prediction.
Kevel, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure
You too,
chatting to you
mate.
guys. Thank you, mate. I'll catch you in a bit. See you later, my friend. Guys, this is amazing nothing through. I'm going to run and quickly close the windows because I've got a very bright light in my face and the windows are open. So, you know what that means? It's got flies everywhere coming in. So, 1 second. And they're all just flying about because they're all drawn to the light. So, 1 second. Better. Like, you know, little moths to a flame, but they're all just round my face and around my spotlight. And it was driving me mad. Anyway, I'm going to bring in Pete Shepherd. Don't forget, of course, this is the Fan View Live where you guys can jump on and have a chat if you are a member. And you can, if not, you don't want to just watch the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel if you want to, because, of course, City just beat Newcastle 1-0 tonight, and it was very, very satisfying. Very satisfying. I see it's called Steve's an aristocrat. Oh, thank you very much, man. It's just it's like a fake leather little seat. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I like nice things. I like nice decor stuff. Anyway, I'll be with Pete in a couple of seconds. Pete, my man, how you doing? You good?
I'm excellent, Steve. A really good game of football. We just had.
It was a good game of football, wasn't it? It was.
Really was. Across the board.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about great games of football having loads of chances and so on, but I don't know. There was some that was not a chess game, but then the chess game at the end where the pieces start to fall a little bit and it gets a bit, But it felt like it felt physical, it felt powerful, it felt structured, but it felt like two like very experienced boxers sort of like feeling each other out a little bit as well, didn't it? I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed it, man. Did you? I guess you did it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was actually well played on both sides, and I saw someone mention in your comments right after the game that Newcastle didn't look very good, and I disagree. Actually, I think we made them look poor at times because our defense was so good. But we had a couple of momentary lapses where the game, the score could have changed very easily. Gavardiol's tackle was a huge, game-saving play. That was going to be a 2-on-1, and that should have been an automatic goal if he hadn't stood his ground. So yeah, I think overall it was, they're a tough team. They're going to be a tough team all year. To get that first, win like that, with the trophies being presented and home and, setting the record. And I think it was absolutely quality football.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. You touched on something that's quite important. Like, this was it was a homecoming for Manchester City. Of course, after the treble, it was the first time that these players had been in front of the fans in the stadium. Of course, they saw them during the parade and so on, but even that was cut short a little bit due to the weather. So this was the big unveiling, the treble, the trophies there in the ground, the massive 100-meter banner, and all the big tifos in the stands. First home game of the season. They could have easily been party poopers, Newcastle. They could have said nothing, just got a very ugly or very frustrating 3-4-1, like a Leicester kind of game from years ago, because we could have not been ready. So it felt important,
absolutely,
given all that we actually played well today. And I think you could tell by the reactions at full time from Pep, the players and the fans, that this meant a lot. Is that fair? Did this game really mean a lot today? Did it mean a lot? What did it mean for the season?
I think it absolutely did. And I watched Foden's quick interview on NBC afterwards, and he was basically saying that the fans have been behind them, for a long time now. But he also said, we deserve the support. Look what we've done, and we want to do it again.
He's not wrong, is he?
No, he's not wrong at all. It's not wrong at all. No, I definitely think this is an important, game for the team's mentality going into the season. Now 6 points on the board. And just it's not often, even if we win like 3 or 4-0 against somebody, it's not often that you see Pep just beaming the way he was post game.
Yeah.
I mean, he couldn't say enough positive things about how proud he was of the performance and the team. And, and again, I know I'm probably a broken record to every single person that's been in your chat, but the combination of Kovacic and Foden was just incredible today.
Just talk to me
Absolutely
about it.
incredible.
Go for it. I love it, mate. Talk to me.
Well, I've been for years wanting Foden to play, that position and be in the channels because he's so good on the half turn and he's so quick when he gets the ball. He's not indecisive, which I love about a player that plays that position. He might make mistakes and he might force a pass sometimes or, make the wrong play, but he puts pressure on the defense constantly,
Yeah.
on that half turn. And you could see them, they didn't get many counter attack opportunities because they were back on their heels so much,
Yeah.
knowing that channel play was there for us. And two other players that I thought played incredibly well today, Akanji stepping up into John Stone's position and playing that midfield role, slash defender. It was almost like, okay, well, clearly he's the understudy to John in that position because he did it flawlessly. And then Kyle Walker basically became our right wing today, and played, and forced a lot of pressure on that side.
I go back to what I mentioned to Kevin. Like I saw someone saying this is the most defensive team in the world. Like when you put it like that, you're like, so we've got Kyle Walker as our right winger, literally probably the best defensive right back in world football.
Yeah,
we've got already got Kovacic and Rodri as a double pivot, and they are both immensely strong, technically excellent players that you can't get the ball off. And then you've got Akanji, a centre back, joining them there, which leaves with Vardy and Diaz there as well, and like you got Grealish who'll work like an ox, and Foden will do, and Alvarez will press, and Haaland's a physical monster. We are ridiculously hard to score against, aren't we? Like ridiculously hard.
Yeah, and then how many times today when they wanted to press us high, and get the ball off of us, how many times did we not only break the pressure with just small, short, quick passes, but then a couple of those left-footed pings by Ederson. A couple up the right side to Walker, just like on an absolute dime, were incredible. So we were clicking on all cylinders today, despite the fact that we only had, other than Haaland, Haaland did have sort of a low game for him. His first touch wasn't there, and I could see he was getting really frustrated with himself, which, he's going to have those occasionally, but otherwise, I thought it was sort of a masterclass of a game of, how to play against a really good team at home. And, when you're down one of your very best players.
And I think we forget as well what the effects, we don't forget. It's just we're considering again the effect of goal has in the game. So if Haaland scores one of those chances, that'd be great. And I know everyone's like the football's a little bit stoic. It's not all the most exciting. But if they score another, it's 2-0, all of a sudden the game opens up, and all of a sudden the players are playing with more confidence, and then the football gets better.
Right.
And that could, I guess the point I'm making is that could easily have turned into a 4-0. Because football is that way. Football starts to steamroll, doesn't it?
Right.
And so Haaland today is the guy that we were feeding, didn't have a great game. And because of that, he probably doesn't end up comfortable. He probably doesn't end quite as flamboyant and emphatic. But that's not to play down the quality of the performance. Not every game is going to be a 10 out of 10 because it's great silky football. Sometimes the steeliness with basically it felt to me like Pep had a plan and the players were like, we got it. Like absolutely, they just nailed the plan. Like the plan was perfected.
I agree. And what's interesting is you think about it, the last, before we got Haaland playing the false nine, there weren't many performances where the channel was open. And the reason it wasn't is because the defense could play higher because there wasn't a striker that was pushing them back on their heels. With Haaland now, you can't play high because it just takes him 2 strides to get by somebody. And if it's a decent through ball, he's on goal. So the channel is going to be there all season long for, Alvarez, Bernardo, Foden. If Kovacic and Rodri played this way, the Premier League, watch out. Seriously.
I'm feeling. Look, obviously I was positive after the Burnley game, and then Sevilla. It was nice to win, but it wasn't like I walked away from that going, bang, we got it. I feel now after witnessing tonight, personally, that obviously the only concerns are more about squad depth, but it's not about motivation and hunger. It's there still. You can just sense it.
Completely agree.
I feel like at this stage already this season, this is the most confident I've been in a long time, at this stage of the season already. And do you share that sentiment, or are there any concerns still for you? Where's your head at looking forward?
Yeah, I would say, obviously the number one concern as a fan is looking at it saying, what if Foden goes down? What if Bernardo's down for a long period of time? What if
Yeah.
what's something, I mean, obviously the depth is something that you have to think about, given the injuries and stuff. But, um, I've always been, ever since this regime has taken over, I mean, I completely trust our board. I mean, Cheeky absolutely knows what he's doing. He's proven it time and time again. We all as fans want to wince a little bit when things go here and there, but they've got contingency plans up the wazoo. They know what they're doing. They're gonna get the right
Up the
person
what?
in
Sorry.
up the wazoo. Yeah, yeah, that's a good old American expression.
I love it. I never heard it before. But I think I introduced it to Manchester. Up the wazoo. No, but you're right. You're absolutely right, mate. They do. They know what they're doing. And look, it looked like we were going. I think we all know now publicly that we were going to sign Paqueta, but obviously, insane circumstances happened. There's not much you can do about that.
Yeah, we don't want to sign somebody who might go to jail.
Literally
that
jail.
wouldn't be a good signing, would it?
Yeah, this is not Ivan Toney stuff. This is jail stuff. This is
Right.
This is better fixing. It's ridiculous. So I now I've seen now we've all seen it coming out as well. It's like, oh yeah, man, that's quite damning potentially. But anyway,
Yeah.
Pete, thank you so much for joining me, mate. It's been
Always appreciate the time,
pleasure.
Steve.
See you later, pal.
Certainly.
Good night. Top bloke, Pete, absolutely wonderful. Guys, thank you for watching this Fan View Live. I'm going to leave it there because I'm very tired and it's midnight over in the UK. But of course, if you want to get involved again in the future, you can do. Fan View Live, it's open for the members. I enjoyed that, man. I enjoyed that. I've had a cracking time. I'm watching the City side right now. The treble winners. The hunger is clearly there. The depth isn't there still, but we will sign some players. But that defense is solid. That midfield is silky. Life is good. Life is really good. The treble winners, Super Cup, European kings, they are absolutely rolling right now. Go watch the match reaction for more views of my own. Thank you to Kevil and Pete. Guys, love you all loads. Catch you in a bit. I'll see you tomorrow for the 5 things learned. Good night. Up the Blues.